Hello and welcome to the Audio Epics podcast. I am Domien.
And this is Eline.
Yes. You might think, didn't you guys already release an episode this week? Yes, we did.
We did.
But we're doing an extra one because, we wanted to sort of introduce why we're doing this extra storytelling podcast in addition to our audio books and audio dramas.
Yeah, so in a way this is podcast 0, in which we want to explain why we're doing a storytelling podcast in the first place. Because we've noticed that a lot of you are getting impatient and really want a sequel to Witch Hunter, and we completely share that feeling.
Mm-hmm.
We completely understand. And it might feel like maybe you're frustrated because you think, the precious time you're spending on creating these storytelling podcasts, you could spend writing and creating new audio dramas and audiobooks. But actually, we think the storytelling podcast is getting us closer to reaching that goal of creating more content. And we kind of wanted to explain why that is, what the motivations are to release this. We start this storytelling podcast because we are kind of passionate about storytelling. We have been our entire lives. It's something we share since we were children. We listened to audio tapes, we watched movies, we read books, and stories have been a very big part of our lives. Some passion that we have always shared as a couple, and we like talking about it, right?
Yeah. And we have our own opinions, and sometimes they are not at all, the sort of consensus opinions, and that's fine. What we don't want to do is sort of communicate in a kind of high and mighty way as if we are the great experts and this is what a good story is, blah blah blah. That's not what we want to do. We're just fans. Who have their opinions and their likes and preferences, and we just want to, have a chat about that. And I think that's fun. It's casual, but it also has value.
So first and foremost, we want to inspire you, whether you're a writer or a creator of audio drama or audio books or another kind of creator, whether you make games or apps. I don't know, but I think talking about stories is very inspirational for each creator, even visual creators.
Definitely. And the listeners get to know us a bit better, and at the same time we get to know the listeners better. After the first episode aired, we already received some great feedback. There was this awesome email that I got from a Mr. Arvid Lindblom from Sweden, and it was lovely to read, in which he sort of told us how he enjoyed listening to our perspectives, and also he gave us some recommendations for good epic stories, longer running series that he likes. He mentions the Vampire Wars trilogy, which is a Warhammer fantasy series. Definitely interested in that, of course. And also the works of historical writer Bernard Cornwell, what he does is he has main characters, and he writes these series in which the main character is always the same protagonist, and every book is its own story, and can be read separately, but together they form this big narrative arc of this guy's life, his adventures. And I think Arvid is right when he says that the same sort of approach is definitely, could definitely be used for Witch Hunter. Have Ludlov go from adventure to adventure, and just make it the story of his life overall. And we're kind of trying to do that.
Yeah, you can read Witch Hunter separately and just stop there. But if you like, there's more.
Yeah, and what we want to do is we want to sort of switch around between the epic stories, the big sort of history-changing episodes, so to speak. And then the smaller ones, which are more like the X-Files, Monster of the Week stories. So yeah, thank you for that, Arvid. That was a great email.
Yeah, and we also got a lot of reactions on social media, people sharing their opinions about the length of an epic, their experiences with longer books or short books, and it was really great reading that, because our main intention is inspiring people, and we saw that actually things were happening. People were actually inspired by that first episode. So we really want to do that again in the future. We thought it was really cool reading all these reactions.
And getting your perspectives as well.
Yeah.
Even if you disagree with us,
Yeah, we're really interested in your opinion and just getting to know our audience better. It's definitely interesting for us, also for the creative process of writing new stories, getting to know you better. And of course, if you get to know us better and you have not listened to any of our stories yet, maybe you could make up your mind that way. It's always interesting to have a filter, a way to decide whether you want to invest your time in something or not.
Yeah. As we mentioned, we want to be able to present to you more stories, more Witch Hunter episodes, etc. But the truth of the matter is that we have a family to run, we have a business to run, we also have a household to run, apparently.
It's somewhere hidden behind Mount Doom of laundry and the big pile of dishes.
Yeah, and so, as a result, what sort of is moved to the bottom of the list, unfortunately, tends to be the stuff that we love most.
Yeah, in a way, the storytelling podcast is a way to give you something of value regularly while you're waiting for new adventures of Ludloff, actually.
Yeah.
Something recurring, something regular that you can look forward to, that will give you some value, that will give you some inspiration while you wait for new content.
Yeah, and at the same time, we might be able to sort of build up a little community of like-minded people who love storytelling in the same way we do. Because that's something I feel is sort of lacking these days. It's kind of genuinely social conversation on these things.
So this way we can broaden our target audience and see where we end up, get to know each other better. Another thing, and I think an important thing we want to do with this storytelling podcast is find a good way to fund our audio dramas and our audiobooks.
Yeah, don't get scared. They're still going to be available for free, but we're looking for ways to monetize what we're doing, so that we can actually afford working on them a bit more,
Yeah, because now it's indeed it's something that always comes last, because families gotta eat, and this is a way for us to try and fund the audiobooks that we make, so that we can create them faster, basically, because that's what you want, that's also what we want.
So we've been looking into Patreon as a possibility for us to sort of move ahead with this, because Patreon is a system where people can support you as a creator, and they give you a little bit of money, not a lot, maybe €1 a month or €5 a month. And if a lot of people do that, that sort of that can be enough to sort of keep you going.
Yeah, and to support you, so that you are allowed to spend time on doing what you love, your passion. It's an ingenious system, actually.
Yeah.
And it's been around for ages, because Shakespeare had patrons supporting his work as well. So.
And it's not. It's not a matter of you buy something from us. It really is a matter of you get our stories for free, but because you like what we do, you want to support us, you want to help us create more, you give a little contribution, and we reward you with something extra, like there are all kinds of possible rewards, like your name in the credits or something, little things. But the reason why people give money on Patreon is not to get their names in credits, but it's really just because they want to support. But
and they want to be part of something, and so we're looking into that possibility and into rewards we would like to share and stuff. We'll keep you posted on that, definitely.
I'm a patron myself, and what I notice is what I enjoy most about Patreon, being a contributor, being someone who pays money to a podcast, is having the feeling that I'm sort of part of the in group, that I can have a voice in what the next episodes will be, that I can communicate with the guy who makes the podcast and with the other fans who are like-minded people. That's what I enjoy most about it.
Yeah. And Patreon is a great system for people, for example, who create podcasts or regular video content. But the problem is with our format, we release these audiobooks, and when they're finished, when the last episode has been aired, there's this big gap.
Yeah.
Where there's nothing.
Yeah, and
so you cannot
it could be a gap of years even.
Yeah, you cannot ask people to support you monthly when there's nothing they get in return. It's impossible. So that it's a difficulty that we've been trying to solve for some time now. And this storytelling podcast is actually a way to give you something of value.
Yes.
And be able to create a Patreon and get supported so that we can actually fund our audiobooks with it, and still share these storytelling episodes as well with you. So both, actually.
Sitting together and talking about storytelling doesn't take as much work as actually creating an entire dramatized audiobook.
No, it kind of comes naturally, right?
It still takes work, because we still have to decide what's going to be the next episode, and there's a lot of editing to be done afterwards. As much as you hear us say, there are even more that I cut out. So.
Yeah, it does take a bit work, but I think we both think that in a way it will actually take us a bit closer to that goal of releasing audiobooks more regularly.
Yeah, it's a more sustainable model, I guess.
And it's kind of fun, right? And we get to spend time together.
Yes, that's nice. Now
we get to just sit down and talk. No smartphones.
No smartphones, no TV. That's a good thing these days.
So thank you for that.
Okay, anyway, I think we've mentioned everything we needed to mention. Is there anything more you wanted to say, Eline?
No, I think this was these were the most important reasons why we're releasing these storytelling episodes.
Okay, so next week there's going to be another one. By the time you hear this, I think the second episode will have aired, the one about video games. So next week's episode will be about role-playing games. Right. Yeah, that was a really fun one. We talked for a long time, so I think I might have to edit it quite a bit, but we'll see how long it turns out to be. Okay, thanks again for listening.